Ash and again, I was making this point, right? I can't believe
he's done everything, man.
Yeah, exactly.
He's the Kamal Hassan of IPL. He's done everything. Played all positions, bowled all speeds, done all things.
Ashavatar.
Oh, I can't believe I missed that. Amazing.
Okay.
Sir can speak Telugu in 5 languages.
Intro sorted.
TV umpire to director, we have a player review. Can we rock and roll, please?
As of Saturday, this epic final had happened 14 times in all of sporting history. That's right, we are here to talk about Real Madrid winning the Champions League. On Sunday, the 29th of May 2022, two sides lined up, one in pink and one in blue. But enough about the boring baby shower I attended today. Let's talk about the boring IPL final. To keep the baby shower analogy going, people were yawning. There were some damn squib decorations, balloons, festoons that no one cared for. And by the end of it, everyone was just waiting to pack up, go home, and get back to real life. IPL 2022 is officially over, and that is something worth raising a toast to. The army is back once again to look back and relive the closing chapter of the season. I am Nitin Sundar, and I am joined by my fellow Bitsers and Piecers. We have a full house today. We have Praveen, Tony, Kaustubh, Murali, Karthik. Say hi, guys.
Murali, Karthik, say hi.
Murali, Karthik, say hi. Perfect. Beautiful. Yeah. By the way, I want to say that you said baby shower. IPL final was baby's hour. It was Jay Shah and Amit Shah in the same stadium. It was baby's hour.
All I will say is that our 2-month-long nightmare is over.
It's finally over.
All is forgiven, and we will soon hear the dulcet tones of Mohan Krishnamurthy back on this podcast.
all is forgiven.
Our watch has ended, but Gujarat Titans still.
Oh my God.
All is forgiven, but more importantly, all is forgotten as soon as the ball.
I also want to say the magical word fixed. Fixed. Sure, fixed.
No, this is a movie. This is a movie nobody wanted to watch. You're saying the script has been done over and over and over again. At the end of it, I just when you're paid enough money for a really crap movie, and you just want to it's going to get better. And you sit through and turns out the end credits are also done, post credit scene also is done, and you're like, why am I here?
Then you're like, what is the next movie? I wonder
what is the next movie?
Multiverse of madness.
But for all of our listeners, we are recording this just a few minutes after Gujarat officially took the title of champions IPL 2022. I can't even get that sentence out properly. What does it even mean?
We should do this like NBA. They are world champions. They are world champions of IPL now.
No, I mean, this is true that they're so much world champions, and the Gujarat model is so effective that they've declared a holiday in the US tomorrow for Monday to celebrate the Gujarat victory. So
it's a memorial day for everyone to remember whatever they saw of the IPL. This long, interminable season.
And so the reason why the six of us are here right now, immediately once the IPL is over, is because we are pretty sure we'll remember nothing starting from tomorrow. The whole season has been just going through short-term memory loss. You forget which teams are playing, forget who's playing for whom. So we realize that we best get it out of the way now rather than wait any longer. So
yeah, I joined this episode only to be consoled because RR has lost, but I've already forgotten the pain. So can I leave? Is it okay?
So in short, what we are trying to say is the season was a blur and the season was blur. So it was a final between Gujarat and Rajasthan. Gujarat winning the IPL in their first ever appearance. The last team to do that was Rajasthan, of course, in the first ever IPL. And through some circular logic, which I was trying to explain some time back, obviously they could not have won this time because it was not their first IPL. If that made any sense.
He repeated that on purpose.
It's just like, who was it? Buckminster Fuller discovering the structure of benzene or something. Thinking of a snake eating itself, which is pretty much what watching this IPL feels like.
No, is this why Lucknow did not turn up in the final? Because then everything will explode. Like at that moment, it's too much happening.
Yeah.
Then no, if Lucknow had played Gujarat, then one of them could have won because it was their first season. So.
and the captains of both the teams would go back on Coffee with Karan.
Oh yeah, wow.
Yeah, that would have been the coffee derby. But wait, one sec, Kaustubh. You said Lucknow did not make it to the final. But the high point of the broadcast, at least in India today, happened midway into the game when actually who's that lady in the commentary box? I don't know her name. Does anyone?
Someone said Neroli Meadows, but I have no idea.
Mehroli. Neroli.
Sounds like a garden in Bombay.
I've never an apartment, not a garden.
Sounds like an
apartment in
exactly. Sounds like an apartment
in Bangalore.
In Whitefield. It's an apartment in Whitefield in Bangalore. Anna, please Anna, Neroli Meadows Bunny Anna.
Meter mele 1.5.
Adalla Whitefield, sir.
Okay. To try and squeeze out some coherence from where we are, from that conversation. Neroli Meadows, who was doing the bit with, I think, Matthew Hayden and somebody else.
Ravi Shastri, don't forget. Ravi Shastri and Graham Smith it was, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Graham Smith, yeah.
As usual.
Even that you've forgotten. You started the story.
Neroli Meadows, Graham Smith and Ravi Shastri were rapping the mid-innings, mid-game thing. When she suddenly looked up and said, there is news coming in from the studio that there is turbulence in the skies of Ahmedabad. And she looked up and the camera panned up. And
all of them looked up.
Everyone looked up.
Yeah.
For just a moment, it looked like there was something serious going on. But very quickly, some very shady graphics appeared on the screen. There was an eagle, we think, that flew.
There was first a nest around the top of the stadium.
That's right. There was first a nest on top of the stands, right? And this is obviously the biggest stadium, so it was a really big nest, probably the biggest ever nest that has ever been built. Probably makes it to the Guinness-record for the biggest ever nest built. And then there was this bird. It was an eagle. It was the Garuda, the Lucknow Super Giants Garuda, the double-scale bird, which came and eventually pecked the camera lens or whatever, and there was a crack on the screen. And Harbhajan Singh was very excited to see this. He said he's never seen anything like this. I think he was speaking for all of us.
Hey, no. So the presenter was like, Harbhajan, you're from Punjab, which has a severe drug problem. Have you seen anything like this? Baji's like, no, I haven't.
No, he basically said, I have only seen crack on the table, not on the screen.
Have you seen this movie called Rudraksh? It's a movie that came out in like the 2000s, and Rudraksh, if you don't know, is a Bollywood movie that had like they had CGI of where they made up Himalayas. They made up one rat. Okay, the rat is hypnotized. They made that on CGI, and they made like all random stuff, labs, all random stuff. Rudraksh CGI was like 100 times better than whatever AR nonsense they were doing today.
But how is this AR?
I don't know
like,
what it
what
is.
is
It's
this?
like, isn't it?
It's bad
AR
animation. I don't know.
It's bad.
I don't know about AR, but there was ARR, right, in the opening ceremony.
There was ARR.
Did anybody watch the opening ceremony, which hopefully was the more interesting part of the final?
No, I have a life. Okay, I mean, already I questioned it when I watched the
Wait
matches.
for a second.
Okay.
Kaustubh.
I have watched this.
He was about to own up, da.
I take full.
Don't abuse anymore.
Arguably, it was the most interesting part of the final. Like I'm being very like you guys got shafted. That's what I will say. So.
Tell us about the opening ceremony, Kaustubh.
I mean, I have my school annual day parade was better. Right.
But what happened?
No, so song and dance, okay. You've got an overly enthu Ranveer, more enthu than he is already enthu in life. And he's running around with the IPL flag from point A to point B and going, or whatever.
Wait. There is an IPL flag?
I was the same question.
What the hell is the IPL flag?
The
IPL flag is that big
Now we have to
T-shirt
check
that they
this
were
out.
showing on the stadium.
What was that T-shirt, guys? Who's wearing that T-shirt?
Oh,
There's
15 is like 15th edition of IPL. I just saw the
15th
Yeah,
IPL.
so the first thing that happens is Ravi Shastri is full enthu, okay. This also we are enthu. We're seeing Ravi Shastri for the first time handling commentary and coverage of the game and everything, right? So he's also welcome to the IPL and blah and whatever. Like it's been very bold and bombastic or anything. And he introduces Ranveer Singh, who is now just running around hyping up people. There are like a troupe of dancers. I don't think it was planned. Like very clearly it's choreographed, right? Like everyone is like dancing behind him, but I think they were catching up to him because he was running much faster than everybody else. So like the camera had to like adjust towards the end of it. Like, oh no, this was scripted only. Okay, so he's going around from point A to point B. Like
basically, Ranveer Singh believes since he played Kapil Dev, if it is a final, he has to run a long distance on the day of the final and take a catch.
Yeah, so like he's catching the flag, waving it about, and then they get to this dais. Okay, it's very weirdly set up. Like, see, like wedding halls have like better stages, man. Like it's very weirdly set up. There's like it's something in the back that looks like a lollipop or something. It's supposed to, I don't know, hypnotize us into thinking that we're watching a good game, but like clearly it's not working. All right. So and then
it's diced and confused.
Okay. Yeah. No. I'll tell you what. Like of all the things, of all the things that like grinded my gears. I can't even talk. Like I'm running out of words.
It's okay.
Dude, so he's
able to words.
I can't able to words.
Yeah.
What is
IPL
English?
season 15 cannot able to words.
So he's handed a guitar, okay. The guitar is not even plugged in. Upar se it's a bass guitar, okay, which you're supposed to play with your fingers.
This is Ranveer or A.R.
Ranveer.
Oh,
okay. A.R. Rahman is like, wait, it's getting better. That's what like. So
it has to.
Ranveer is running around with his guitar going, yeah, or whatever. The damn thing is not even plugged in, okay. Like he's pretending to play it also wrong. Like at every step, it's getting worse. Alright. And then he starts dancing with the guitar. I don't know why he's doing that. The next 2 minutes are a blur, and then Rahman comes on stage. Okay, Rahman has decided to phone this in completely. Dude, so like I have seen lip sync performances, all right, like, and it's fine. I have no gripes against artists who do that. Sometimes you have backing tracks that help out other vocalists because you have to shout on stage. But I've never seen an entire set being lip synced. Like everything. Like not even like not like all the singers were lip synced, all of them. All right, and you can see them trying to like fake it, and like there was this one they're singing "Ma Tujhe Salam." Okay, for one thing, I thought they'll sing the Tamil version. All of a sudden, I don't know why, but he doesn't do that. He sings the Hindi version, obviously, and
because it was lip synced. They didn't want to take a chance. They're like, what if he like
you will sing this
something?
only. You will sing this version only.
Some subversive message in there.
So like you got Trent Bolt trying to like lip sync with it. Okay, like the camera goes like the camera has realized that the audience has figured out. Like we can't keep showing these people too much. We need to go to crowd reactions. They're going to crowd reactions. They are also dazed and confused, wondering what happened. We thought Ranveer was there a second ago.
You're talking about the IPL broadcast right now, by the way.
But okay. I am surprised they didn't rope in Jimmy Neesham to do this.
Tell us about the jersey.
No, so after all this is done, alright, like just before the performance ends, it goes to like a very entho RR bench, just belting out Vande Mataram or something, and then the announcement happens that like we are about to set the Guinness Book of World Records of the biggest jersey ever, and like there's a drone shot of like high above the stadium, and you can see this big white colored jersey called 15 that's being rolled out and presented. I don't know. I wish there was a joke here. I'm still at a loss like how to show this. But everything I saw was far more interesting than anything I saw in the actual final. So
are we sure that it's a jersey and it's not just the ground covers that they just put 15 on it and said, this is a jersey? Okay, this is a jersey. Who says this is not a jersey? It looks like a jersey.
But by the way, two things. The only jersey that people know in Gujarat is Edison, New Jersey. So that is the only jersey. but also, on a more serious point, I want to say this is perfectly in keeping with the subcontinent and particularly India's tradition of completely botching like opening and closing ceremonies. Like even the 96 World Cup, right? There's a huge passage in Mike Marques's book War Minus the Shooting, and I think like there's videos also where Eden Gardens, the opening ceremony, they completely botched it up. It was supposed to be like, you know, laser show, light show, Sushmita Sen landing on a helicopter. You know, there was a huge controversy about, oh, she's going to wear a bikini. No, she's going to wear something else. And then they completely botched it. So this is completely in keeping with tradition.
I would like to defend it a bit. This was not botched. It was just bad.
It went to their
execution
credit.
was
It
great,
went according to plan.
Yeah, and effort has gone into this. And some effort. It is just something I do not like watching. It's just that.
Do all of you know that the country that is the most obsessed with the Guinness Book of World Records is India, right? By far. So you always see this over there.
You mean India holds the India holds the record for being the country that's most obsessed with Guinness.
Certified by UN. UNESCO has certified this.
I have a small this thing over here. So, Saman Subramaniam, whom many of you know, who writes about, he's written for Krtgrphr, I believe, earlier, and since then he's written several things. He wrote this great piece on the New York Times about why Indians are so obsessed with Guinness Book of World Records, and I just pulled this up while Kostu was talking about it, and I have like this paragraph right at the end that talks about what does it take to become eligible. Like otherwise you can do some nonsense and say, oh, this is Guinness Book of World Records. So here is what it is. In 1994, Ashish Nehra, who has set more records than anybody else, wrote an article in which he described what it took to apply. You needed 2 witnesses, which were people of standing in the community. There itself it has broken, okay, for today's record.
Hardik and KL Rahul.
There are 2 people of standing in that particular stadium, so that's gone. You need an official logbook and photographs. Okay. You needed to perform the record in a public space, okay, so that passerbys could fill in a sign-up sheet. Finally, and here's the last thing, finally you need media coverage to confirm your record. So the whole IPL, my friends, was for this. I think it was just an excuse to basically do this biggest jersey so you can put it in the biggest stadium, led by the biggest leader in the world, and enter the Guinness Book of World Records.
Why is it not sponsored by the biggest brand?
No, because I just checked. It's not the largest jersey. It's the largest cricket jersey. There's the largest football jersey done by Nigeria. So this is crazy. Okay, so I did some research and I saw the Ravi Shastri
Some
Ganguly video
power
again.
30-year-old is sitting in like Rajaji Nagar with the record right now. He's gone.
I promise you, literally, they fought a battle nobody came to. This is the largest jersey. I think before this was like Dwayne Leverock or something. I think there was nobody in the middle. They just said, okay, this is our jersey is open. Let's take it and fucking make a deal out of it.
Dwayne Leverock not only had the biggest jersey, he also had the biggest Bermuda.
No, this is perfect. This is perfect for a cricket crazy John tweet. This set the record for biggest cricket jersey on a Saturday night in west of longitude 24 degrees, whatever. Yeah.
Minimum 100,000 witnesses. Asterisk.
100,000
Minimum 100,000 witnesses.
TOI reported.
By the way, the jersey was white in color. So there is a subliminal message about Test cricket that is being pervaded at the end of this IPL.
That's one, but also they sang One Day Mataram. So like what does
I
it
think everyone is tired with T20 basically, including the organizers. So, okay,
Does anyone
let's
have
talk.
any takes, about the IPL other than, oh my god, it was forgettable, it was boring, we've forgotten everything, I've forgotten everything.
I think we can all just start by saying like nobody thought Gujarat would win, man.
Pretty crazy run.
Except one guy.
Who was you? Murali was supporting Gujarat.
Oh, he's
Not in this panel, man.
Oh, that guy. Yeah,
like that.
I'm not saying it was. I'm not saying it was scripted. I'm saying it was a myth. That's all I'm saying.
I just want to say, as late as last week, when we had to pick 1 out of 4 teams, all our panelists named the 3 other teams except Gujarat. So the bits and pieces jinx is alive and well. As is, I think, Miller, who has ended up as the highest scorer for Gujarat, if not Shubman Gill. So well played to Gujarat Titans for beating all the odds.
Has he crossed Hardik?
Isn't it Hardik Pandya? Hardik
Yeah,
Pandya
it's
is the
Hardik
highest.
only, no?
Hardik
What?
is the highest.
Really?
Yeah.
Hardik was number
Hardik
4.
was the highest. And he has played well
Hardik
last
was
couple
number.
of games.
You guys will okay. Let's fact check this on the go. Yeah, Hardik is
No, please let us not. Nothing is going to change in the world. It's
Hardik has 453, Miller has 449, and Gill has 438.
Oh wow.
Tony's putting more prep into this than Sangakkara put into an entire season.
Sangakkara's biggest contribution during the talk.
Who wants to talk about Sangakkara and the 7-month strategy.
Sangakkara's biggest contribution during that auction was when Arjun Tendulkar or somebody's name came during the auction and he was telling Mahila, you keep bidding more for this. They were trying to raise the cost of some player. But Hardik, guys, did anyone see this coming? He's been out of cricket for a while. Wasn't bowling for India. His batting was off the boil. Suddenly made the captain and bat, ball, and what a performance in the final. He's killed it. He's probably the only player in all of India right now who's in form. Literally, right?
No, and I think promptly the next thing that will come out is tomorrow there will be a tweet by John Sir saying Hardik Pandya is pulled out of XYZ one day series. Like this is the last act. Torn hamstring. Yeah, it's like attributed to TY. Yeah.
I am like one of the two people in Mumbai here, so I can hear the sound of the tiniest violin playing in Antilia right now for letting go of Hardik Pandya to Gujarat Titans.
I mean, the only thing that it's true. I mean, like, well done. I'm quite glad that he's come back into form as an all-rounder. The only thing is that, like everyone else in the Indian team, we now have an 8th anchor. If you look at the IPL, and that is the only thing that worries me. I'm like, okay, if the only way how people can come back into form as batsmen is as anchors, then
what happened to Rajasthan Royals here? Like they just seem to lose all their momentum going into the final today.
I mean, I don't think momentum is a real thing, right? Like, shit, I should have done more fact checking on this. But basically, I think Sanju's won like 3 tosses in this tournament and probably lost all those matches.
Yeah, I think he's not. It looks like the decision to bat first was a bad one today as well.
He won the toss the previous game, but he won the game as well. So he hasn't.
Cool. Well done. But they've been blanked 3-0 by Gujarat, right? So perfectly on par.
It's a start. Every time the top one, the first team, the team that has topped the table has won the IPL since 2018, and every single time they have beaten the team that's come second.
And I think momentum is true because I think Gujarat looked like a team that was refusing to lose for a significant period of time. It didn't look like any team came in thinking, oh, we could beat these guys, because there were nobodies that were doing way out of their, league or whatever that is,
Except that they managed to lose to Mumbai Indians, if anybody remembers.
That was crazy.
Daniel Sams.
Yeah.
No, they lost that game. No. I don't know if you remember. They lost that game because they chose to lose. After winning the toss, they chose to
Correct. It was an experiment.
Yeah, it was an experiment. So they had not even qualified for the playoffs.
I thought that was Punjab though.
See, it's all the same at this point. Oh my God. Right, it's all the same at this point.
No, but for Gujarat, they've had various match winners at 4 different games, right? So Rashid Khan, who's been horrible for you in the fantasy league if you've paid 11 crores to pick him in your team the entire series and people just play him out. Today is played out of his skin. I remember he won a match for Gujarat with the bat as well when Hardik was away.
Yeah. Couple of games. He won a couple of games.
To be fair, it's against CSK.
But coming back to RR, I think that, look, if you lose 3 times to Gujarat, then I think it's pretty clear that I felt that Gujarat's bowlers just had the number of the Rajasthan batsmen very clearly. If you look at Rashid Khan, Butler, he does not know anything. He has no clue whether it's coming straight, whether it's going, is it a leg break, is it a googly? He's just absolutely no idea throughout.
In fact, today I don't think Rajasthan picked a single ball that Rashid bowled.
Every
ball they were getting beaten.
Every ball they were taking the wrong decision. Everyone, all down the order.
And I don't think this is a Rashid Khan suddenly shining thing. There were matches where they scored 190 and he did none for 14 in those 4 overs. They properly play him out because the dude is... and he's so short, even if he flights it comes at 3 feet or something. It's very hard for anybody to get under the ball and really muscle it out. So very few people scored. That's why he didn't... he got a few wickets, but not like the big league wickets, etc.
Also,
okay, so what's the finish.
Sorry, I was just saying, somebody was saying something about losing 3 times to Gujarat. If you lose 3 times to Gujarat, the rule in India is they put you on Margdarshak Mandal. So
Chintan Shivir.
Chintan Shivir.
No, so getting into it, what was the, if at all I had to jog memories, what was the best game that you saw? What I don't remember.
Tewatia hitting 2 sixes of Odeon Smith. I have repeated this multiple times. I will keep reminding you people of that
That's
match.
the only match you watch, no? Tell the truth.
Entire season has gone on. Yeah, basically memories
That's
of
true.
that game.
That was a good game, and the Rajasthan and DC game was hilarious. I think that was like entertaining as hell.
For me,
that is
for
the
me,
Praveen Amre game, right?
That is a Praveen Amre game, exactly.
Brilliant.
this IPL for me was so boring. I don't like great wins anymore. I like really close losses, and I really like that LSG winning with that random left-hand catch of Evan Lewis out of nowhere, where they had won the game, and then they lost. I was so happy that somebody lost. It felt so good because they had no business anyway winning. KKR was knocked out, but out of nowhere that Rinku Singh fires some missiles everywhere and then loses it when it's like run a ball. It was so
You
much
were
fun to
happy.
watch.
Costa was running in the streets,
With an idli
honking the horn that you can hear.
Mine is-
Predictable IPL, guys.
Mine would be the Rajasthan Calcutta, the hat-trick game where Chahal took a hat-trick and Ashwin ran around saying me. Right, because he outfoxed like Andre Russell once. That was a good game.
Yeah, my favorite game was KL Rahul being KL Rahul against RCB. And it was also fun because RCB is going to win that game only to pull off an RCB the next game. So KL Rahul was KL Rahul, and in the following game RCB was RCB.
How many people have Gambhir's face as their wallpaper after LSG lost as their phone?
Not even Gambhir. I think even he has like Dhoni's 6 as his wallpaper.
I mean, look, we have nothing to say also. It's like it's over. It's like it's done.
It's over.
God, as anyone saying, oh, it was such a memorable tournament. This at least was great. This was nothing. Like, oh, finally.
No, I think one of the flaws with this whole thing is like it doesn't depend on any kind of team structure or anything. Just depends on which guy is in form at what point in time. Like last year, CSK had a shit team. I mean, they've had a shit team for quite a few years. But like basically, Faf and Ruturaj scored like 1,250 runs. And how do you lose as a team, right? So, and this year, Gujarat had like a crazy number of people in form. Like Hardik Pandya has never played like this in his entire life. And Joss Butler scored some, 700, 800 runs. Obviously, like they are also in the final. So, literally, all it takes is that it's such a short tournament. In that sense, it's such a short tournament that you need like people in form. There's no point in like bidding for X number of players or something. I think it'll be better if, they split the IPL into 2 parts somewhere at the, start in the middle of the year. So, like no one gets fatigued and it evens out in some senses.
Ironically, a lot of analysts essentially say that the IPL is too short because for them to say anything meaningful with respect to trends, data, etc. So if you look at, say, Karthik is here, but if you look at, say, baseball seasons, NBA seasons, it's like way, way, way longer because because of that, the best team ends up winning and you get a lot of interesting and important stats as a result as well. Here, it's all just a series of 14 random events that teams play.
Yeah, you don't have enough. Yeah, that's true. You don't have enough data points. But then, are you really going to watch the IPL if it's any longer? Like, I get the analyst argument.
No. I'm not watching it.
I mean, at this point, the IPL may as well be a simulation just for, like, AI algorithms to learn from. Like,
no, but here's the thing,
Ooh,
right? Like
this is the metaverse. I like it. Okay.
Metaverse.
In March, I definitely want the IPL. But in May, I don't, like by the end. So, like, there is definitely a point where it gets too cloying, at least for me.
So, Karthik, are you saying this year was not a simulation?
This year was, I think it was a different IPL. I mean, it was still boring, but in so many ways it was still different because there were 2 new teams. The dynamic was so different. There were the shit teams like RCB that continued to be like good parts that eventually shit again. But the regular ones sucked and it was great to watch MI suck so much, CSK suck so much. I think it was good in the early parts. It was satisfying.
Yeah, did you just say it was great to watch CSK suck so much?
Correct. I was just waiting for that part.
I 100% admit when the auction finished, I was like, are you playing gully cricket in Somasundaram ground? Because this team is not winning anything. Nobody can bend down. How is going to pick up the ball? Dhoni sometimes can't lift his hand entirely to point where to move because the dude is old, man. Come on.
Dhoni famously said, if I drop an IPL trophy, I don't bend to pick up one because by the time I would have won another one.
Oh, nice.
Okay, quickly going around the table, guys. Who was your top player of the IPL?
RJ Balaji.
I agree. RJB is always up there.
Hard to look past Butler in my mind, simply because of the context in which he entered the tournament. He wasn't doing particularly well at the white ball format. Red ball format, he was in a horrible place. And now, in fact, today, Brendan McCullum has made some hints that he probably is going to try to get Butler back into the team. Given that India is going to play the one-off test, I hope he does that. But I think Butler for me is the huge... Yeah, it's been a great IPL for him. And I think Rajasthan has gotten to the final almost completely at the back of his batting performance. From the batsman standpoint, who else has really delivered? Nobody else has particularly delivered.
Tony is gritting his teeth there.
Yeah. No, because I had all of the other batsmen in Nitin's weird fantasy league. And for all the eager followers of Bits and Pieces who want to know what happened to that league, Nitin and I finished 8th and 9th out of 9 teams. So
We are the CSK and MI
experts. Yeah.
Absolutely. Tony, who was your top player of the year?
I don't know if top player, but like the definite most disappointing player of the year for me was Mohammad Siraj, who had like a spectacular IPL last season. He was like Rashid Khaning it last season, like not necessarily picking wickets, etc. But like it's been a really, really bad fall for that dude. I don't see how he's going to play T20 cricket, at least internationally anymore. But top player maybe Chahal, because he came in pretty like differently and like bowled very well, including getting Hardik Pandya in the final off with a superb ball. So maybe Chahal.
Karthik.
For me, how can I look past Ash Anna? Ash Anna was the... Because, I mean, not
Wow,
by,
the three of us and all of us have named Rajasthan Royal person. Okay.
Yeah, I know, we're like big...
Because you can only remember players from...
I know,
It's the most memorable team for sure.
You only remember...
There was another team. No, what is that?
No.
Lucknow, Banaras. What is that?
No, Rajasthan are the only team that have, like, I think, the most times have named an unchanged 11. Alright, so we have seen them multiple times.
Maybe.
Amazing stat. Amazing stat.
No, but I think also because they bowled 18 to 20, and I think that's the only thing we remember at this point. Just the last 3 overs. But no, I think part of the reason is looking past stats and everything. I think the only value any of us got out of the IPL this year was the spectacle, which is the cricket itself was shit for the most part. It was all the things around it. Praveen Amre running onto the ground, Rishabh Pant's antics, blah, blah, blah. And I think if you take that as your metric, I think Ash Anna clearly comfortably wins the IPL because he did so many crazy things, like, coming up at number 3, batting every position, all kinds of antics, right? Ash Anna was right there.
Retiring out, please don't forget.
Retiring out, exactly. Retired out, yeah.
So by the way, at the halfway point today, Ashna made a very motivated, like inspiring speech.
I know, very like.
Varar had pulled it off today. No, like that would have been it. Like
I know that would have been the thing that they've been showing. Yeah.
I think he has as many 50s as Dhoni this season.
It's like saying, Ash has so many 50s as the Idli Wala. Dude, neither of them play any cricket at all.
Me and Tendulkar together have 100 centuries. Like
yeah, it's one of those stats only. But even with that in mind, I think Ashton is doing what is required on the field for him to make great YouTube videos. You have to hand it to him.
So anyway, going back to my point, I think if you measure it by engagement, I think Ash Anna is the clear purple cap, orange cap, everything winner of this IPL, hands down. So I think that's my pick.
I think that apart from a spectacle, yeah, you're right about the spectacle on YouTube and all the drama, and all of that is true. But I think even despite that, he's had a very, very good IPL.
Yeah.
He probably didn't do very well in the last couple of games, but until then, he's had a very interesting and a very good IPL.
No, I mean, he was the reason that
Who gives any importance to the last game? What is this final?
What is this?
Very unnecessary. It's not even in the Guinness Book of World Records as the best match out of.
So, Kaustubh said RJ Balaji. Anyone else, Kaustubh?
I would say the players I liked watching, like there were two. Like one is that Dwayne Bruce from Mumbai who was just like smashing sixes for fun. There was this 1 6 that
you watched the first round of all matches.
and then he stopped.
No, so So like it's Dwayne Leverock and Liam Livingston. These are the two players that I absolutely loved watching. Right, like Liam Livingston is like, it felt like a Chris Gayle kind of mold where he can just like smash it if he wants to, and like he chooses not to because he wants to be more reserved or something. But like almost everybody from Gujarat stepped up at some level. So maybe a shout out to Rajat Patidar. You had the top three. You had who? Faf, Kohli, and Maxwell just getting single digit runs and whatever. And this guy is single-handedly uncapped player playing in front of like what 80,000.
Literally uncapped, right?
Literally
He was playing without a cap.
Like smashing sixes in a pressure game, and he also top scored for RCB in the next game. So I would say, yeah, like these three players maybe like I can't really pick like Chahal. Or like Chahal was bound to come good, right? And Butler, after like the couple of hundreds he hit, he was going to have a 600 plus season. So it's not like
It's all setting up nicely for Nitin to shout out David Miller. So.
Can I step in and change my answer? I'm going to change my answer too.
No,
the person of the tournament is Rajasthan Royals data scientists, okay, who sat with Sangakkara. They are this thing of the tournament.
No.
Sorry, please.
No, the correct answer is Rajasthan Royals social media manager, man. The
Happy
person who
low,
got
happy
fired,
low.
happy low. Seriously, those guys made the IPL interesting. But yeah, Patidar is like a throwback because he plays without a cap when he's playing spinners. And finally, an Indian batsman who plays spin decently. It doesn't look like he'll get out every ball. That was good to see.
Sound of Mayank Agarwal crying somewhere.
He's been crying for a while.
Let's not talk about Mayank Agarwal. My player of the season is definitely Ishant Sharma, man. Showing up in all the wrong places or all the right places. Firstly, he didn't play, so your reputation gets enhanced. If you're, an Ishant Sharma, Mohammad Siraj type bowler, you don't play the IPL, your reputation gets enhanced. But yeah, the Rupee ad and showing up in that fan zone or whatever.
Outstanding.
Outstanding. Ashish Nehra, man. He is now an IPL winning coach. Like, can we deal with that? That guy, man. Like, he's on his own trip. What a stud. Like, hats off to Ashish Nehra. Yeah.
कैसी है फीलिंग मिस्टर पांड्या?
बहुत ही बढ़िया. पहले साल में ही छक्का मार दिया और इससे बड़ा क्या प्राउड फील हो सकता है यार. चैंपियन बन गए. लोगों ने बोला थोड़ा बैटिंग कम है, बॉलिंग कम है, लेकिन ठीक है. अभी लोगों ने बोला
कौन है वो लोग?
नहीं, अभी तो अभी ट्रॉफी है तो चलता है. जिस तरीके से हम खेले ना, बहुत बड़ा क्रेडिट जाता है क्योंकि एक बंदे को इतनी मेहनत और इतनी दिल से मेहनत कराई है. आशुपा आपको बहुत
ऐसी कोई बात नहीं है,
सही
झूठ
है.
बोल रहा है. थैंक यू वेरी मच.
Nehra was a clear winner. I was going to pick Nehra
Amazing.
too. Though you shamelessly left me out, I still want to make my pick for the one player. That's okay. No, I would definitely have picked Nehra. But for me, it was not a great player, but a great find for me. I was so impressed watching him was Mohsin Khan. I think I was super impressed watching this dude bowl. He bowled under 6. His economy is under 6. He's got, I think, some 8-10 wickets odd. And he's bowled at a phenomenal average and strike rate too. I was very impressed watching him. Yeah, left arm seamer. Yeah.
All those fast bowlers, man. Those fast bowlers are crazy. All those
came
guys.
for Avish Khan as a stand-in and they could not drop him. So they had to play both Khans going
Both
forward
together.
because he was that good.
Yeah. I think we should also... Umran Malik, just by virtue of playing for SRH, gets forgotten, but like... He
Not
had
at all. Yeah, absolutely.
He was
what a bowler.
amazing. Yeah.
a breakout season in that sense.
Poor
these
fellow
three guys.
nearly won the fastest ball of the tournament. It was broken
I know
by
this-
Lockie
Lockie.
today.
Complete injustice. Like throughout the tournament, he keeps getting things, and then just because he's on the shit team, he loses out.
But that's signature Gujarat Titans thing to do, right? Don't even look
I
like
know.
they're winning till the end, and then the last over, they're like, "I'll take the award. Thank you, thank you."
No, but
Please.
I mean, to be fair, I think Lockie was always second. Like he was right there, but he just hadn't breached that 156, 157. But today he went past that. So
He did
beyond
it in
just-
Fergie time. Okay.
Oh God.
No, beyond just runs and wickets and stats, right? IPL is all about sort of that entertainment value and like fast bowlers, Indian fast bowlers bringing people to the TV, right? Like people tuned into SRH dead matches just because Umran Malik was bowling. Even when he was getting carted around for 50 runs, 60 runs in 4 overs, it's still that genuine thing of, oh my God, this guy, I want to see what speed the next ball is at. So, amazing.
Yeah, and A lot of these guys are casually bowling 140, like random Yash Dayals, some other what Chaudhary did he play?
Mukesh
Chaudhary. Some Mr. Chaudhary. Everybody is coming.
There must have been a Sudeep Chaudhary for all you know.
I think he's an umpire. Sounds like an umpire's name.
No, even Prasidh Krishna, right? I was so like he's constantly at the high 140s, 150, and I didn't expect that from Prasidh Krishna. So
Hardik Pandya bowled 140, dude, today.
Someone's already been like calling out
questioning,
the gun, right? Because like there was some ball of Ashwin which was recorded at 130 or something.
132 or something.
Like
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Ashwin is very capable of doing.
Yeah. Ash, and again, I was making this point, right? I can't believe
he's done everything, man.
Yeah,
he's done
exactly.
everything. He's the Kamal Hassan of IPL. He's done everything. Played all positions, bowled all speeds, done all things.
Ashavatar.
Oh, I can't believe I missed that. Amazing.
Okay.
Sir can speak Telugu in 5 languages.
Intro sorted.
What do you guys plan to do with the rest of your lives now that
for the best performance in the IPL, I think we should do a shout out to our own podcast, which has pretty much been born out of the entire bits and pieces of the IPL, which they paid tribute to with a nest that the Eagle was making, which is basically made out of bits and pieces of everything, right? I don't know where I'm going with this.
Yeah, and the Eagle was laying a giant tutty in the middle of that nest, which is basically what we do every week. So.
No, I really appreciate this podcast because we spoke, I think it was 6 weeks between the IPL regularly every Sunday and nothing about cricket. Everything around, all the things that happened on the pitch. Eagles flew, male contours.
Double scales.
Praveen Amre running on the field.
Who runs faster between Pant and Amre? We did all the nonsense except
Theme
any
songs.
cricket.
Yeah,
I think
Theme songs. Pant is red. Oh my God. How can we forget Pant is...
I think the only reason this podcast was born was simply because it was such a bizarre IPL that people needed group therapy. Where they're what is going on? We need to talk about this. It's affecting me, and so that's why.
Hang on, guys. The podcast started in January before the IPL. we covered the IPL auction in our 6th episode.
We have covered the auction and all.
It seems impossible, but the podcast has actually been going on for longer than the IPL.
We should unveil a really large jersey saying something.
Put Manjrekha's name in the back. Unlike
RCB, we got to the final on our own. Nobody had
We've got to the final day of the IPL on our own, guys.
So did Ravi Shastri.
From the time the podcast began to now, Indian cricket team has been exactly where it is. Nothing has changed. Right?
Are you talking about this episode or the episode?
KL Rahul bulbing has been...
KL Rahul has bulbed. Okay. Shikhar Dhawan is not in the team. Okay. They're still not clear. Should we get
Virat Kohli still can't get number 71.
Virat Kohli still can't get number 71. Venkatesh Iyer is still in the squad. No one knows why.
What, really?
Right.
Yeah, he's still there. He got
Again?
Yes. He's there in the squad.
He got picked.
One year. PGK, this makes sense, right? The only thing that's common to bits and pieces and Indian cricket team is we have a new anchor every week.
The only thing that has changed with the Indian team after this podcast went live, the stock of Ravindra Jadeja has flipped places with the stock of Hardik Pandya.
Oh man.
We are still good because we have one all-rounder still doing well. Hopefully both will be doing well.
Actually, that's one thing we should talk about. Travesties of this IPL, no bigger travesty than what they did to Jadeja. Seriously, in all seriousness, what the hell was that?
He got thrown
Arjun
under the bus.
Tendulkar would like to have a word. Okay.
Poor fellow, he was marking his run-up and all before the game.
I know.
I'm
pretty sure they told him, "Tu khel raha hai, main khel raha hu, tu khel raha hai." Okay, then at the last minute, no, you go sit down. It's fine.
Jadeja and Arjun Tendulkar are chilling with Suresh Raina on the balcony drinking some.
There's a Tendulkar history repeating itself all over again, man. Whenever a Tendulkar tries to be a fast bowler, somebody comes and stops him. So.
Yeah, I think it's fair to call this the Titan Cup.
Remember the Titans.
Oh,
Nice.
Oh.
Nice.
well done. Okay, we were
Alright,
talking about
guys.
KL Rahul. We have nothing to say, I'm assuming. Okay, fine.
I thought we
Listen,
were
if-
ending.
if he was-
Aren't we done with Rahul Bash?
That's the thing, if you start talking about KL Rahul, we'll end up
We
talking
bashed
for
him
half an
even
hour.
before he did badly. We bashed him. Now what is there to say?
I wouldn't be surprised if he knows us. Oh, that podcast. They bash me every week, ra. They maga bring more Mysore dosa, ra. They're coming again.
Mundhe Baaro.
Mundhe Baaro. This is my lowest loada. Sorry, KL. Please don't listen to us.
Also, just like 2 minutes silence for like just absorbing the fact that Matthew Wade has been a part of 2 winning teams.
I will never digest that, man. And an Ashes, by the way, in the middle.
Oh yeah, there's an Ashes. Oh yeah, he was in the Ashes also. Oh, shit.
Of course, yeah.
There's opener there too by mistake.
He played as a specialist batsman in the Ashes, is it?
And in this team also by mistake because they have a keeper, Saha.
Yeah.
He played as a batsman in the Ashes.
By the way, guys,
God.
strange things are happening. Pragyan Oja is the guy giving away the trophies and checks.
What? It's
and
still not over.
What? Not over. Of course it is not over.
Okay.
The IPL is still going on.
Okay, this is important. So, Krtgrphr 2009, you can actually go back and check the ball-by-ball commentary, the IPL final. So that was the final that happened in South Africa. Obviously, already the timing is bad for India to cover. Jamie Alter was on commentary, right? Ball-by-ball commentary at Krtgrphr. The game is over. The awards are being given. Lalit Modi has come and done an item number. Then Shah Rukh Khan and Akon are dancing on the stage. So Jamie Alter is still trying and covering all this. Everything goes on. It's around 3 a.m. The shit is not ending. Jamie Alter, final line on commentary. All right, guys, this doesn't look like it's ending. I have a flight to catch. I'm out of here. Bye. End of Krtgrphr commentary. You can see this. We should link it in the show notes.
Legend. True legend.
These
For all
shows
you know,
never
you
end. Yeah.
like you come back next week also and open Hotstar. It'll be like it's still running. It's like
going on.
we're giving away awards.
Ranveer Singh will be running.
High school awards, no? Everyone gets something. There'll be something for Dhoni, man. There'll definitely be something for Dhoni. He won't be there to receive it.
What is the Dada Saheb Phalke Award equivalent in sport? Like somebody who's been playing for 50 years or something.
Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna.
Something like that. Richard.
Dada Saheb Falcon Award, which will be given by the Eagle Award.
It will be given only to Lucknow Super Giants.
In the metaverse.
Actually,
if you had,
Murali,
if you had said at the beginning of the tournament, just look at the team. Saha, Gill, Matthew Wade, Hardik Pandya, David
PGK
Miller.
still can't digest it.
I'm
Miller.
still not getting it. Miller, Tewatia,
Miller.
Rashid Khan, Sai Kishore, Shami, Yash Dayal, Lockie
Who is Yash
Ferguson.
Dayal, dude? Like,
That
please,
is who
PGK is reading these
he is
names
the
for the
guy-
very first time.
Yash
Hey,
Dayal
I'm
is the
very
guy
confused.
Simon Dool calls Yash Dal.
Yash Dal.
Yash Dal,
Deal with
Yash
that.
Dal.
At least
As-
he doesn't call it
as-
Yash Jewel.
Yash Dool.
As Kaustubh said, it's all Nehraji's fault. So,
Yeah, and I cannot hear any of the non-Indian commentators say Hardik Pandya's name also. It's really, really difficult. They don't
I
get
think
them
this is the
here.
time when we schedule an intervention for Nitin Sundar and ask him to say Hardik. It's not Hardik, dude. Hardik.
It's Hardik.
Oh, really?
Or as Simon Joel says, Hardik.
It's not Hardik.
Pandya.
No, it's not. Why will it be Hardik jo pyar karega? What is this?
Pandya.
Okay, someone say it. How do you say it?
It's Hardik.
Hardik.
I'm sorry we didn't correct you so far in this podcast, but I didn't want to be that guy who's going around correcting people's pronunciation.
Now it's
You
no
just-
fun.
you just
now
were-
we can go back and make a montage of all the times you've done this.
Hardik.
That is-
Oh yeah.
We should do a dubstep of Nitin saying Hardik.
PGK has left note to editor.
We haven't wrapped up the show. We haven't wrapped up.
Much
The
like
IPL is still going on. We're waiting
going
for
on.
it to end.
Yeah, like the final is just going on. It's like somebody
I
will
think it's very simple. It's now this is a great place. We should end this podcast because now our listeners will know we started this podcast before the just when Gujarat won and we are done with the podcast and Gujarat and the match is still going on, presentation is still on, we should end it. Yeah? Like, we can't take this anymore. We should pull off a Jamie altar. We should say bye. We are
We have a flight to catch.
तुम Dream 11 पे team बनाओ.
Done. That is the wrap. On that note, thank you very much for
Amazing.
sitting with us, for being bits and pieces of this journey through the IPL. We'll be back next week to talk about other cricket, real cricket, fun cricket. Until then, it's goodbye from the entire panel at Bits and Pieces. Bye-bye.
Bye.